A story about, I got a couple stories. I've tattooed like 3 vaginas.
I have tons of experience tattooing cocks. In case any of you guys want a cock tattoo, just so you know, it is $500 an hour.
A master at it. I'm one of the few people in the world that has no problem. Please, come to me. I will tattoo your penis or your vagina or anus, geesh, balls, all day, every day. And you know what? I'm not gonna say 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. I'm gonna charge you $100 an hour.
Didn't you tattoo this girl's vagina once and she secreted on you?
The bits are too small to be doing a portrait on. It's like, it's too small for a portrait.
I had one client who was an adult star type, and I ended up doing this big tribal and flower thing that ended up going down onto her labia, but it wasn't a crazy story. It was a tattoo, you know, and I did the best I could with it, and it healed pretty well, and she showed it to lots of people.
I've had my butt tattooed. Also, I feel like if you're starting to go for a bodysuit, there's going to be times when you're going to have to take that step that goes between your butt cheeks, and I had to take that step, and you just have to be really comfortable with your tattoo artist. And Philip, you are so awesome, PM Tattoos, because he is my dude for my butt and back, and there was very awkward eye contacts while spreading.
I've filled in vaginas completely black. I've filled in penises completely black. I don't know if that's weird to you guys. To me, it's the norm.
For the transgender community, I'll do micropigmentation, because a lot of the times the people who have gone from female to male, they'll get the skin taken off of their forearm from about here to there, and it usually has a different pigment to it, as opposed to like how a penis would be pigmented, typically a darker tone. So what I'll do is I'll transition those tones back to be darker and hopefully make them happier with that. Maybe add some veins or something to that effect. It's really involving, like with every single client that I get that comes in, like every single one is I'm taking the base of pigments that we have in the industry and trying to literally make their skin tone. Like, so the first thing you'll do is like, you'll find their actual skin tone, and then you have to find out which way to push it to make it look darker naturally. You know, we'll set a whole day aside, and it literally takes like 30 minutes, an hour for the procedure. But prep work and all that aside is like 8 hours.
A friend of the shop sent his mom, and she wanted a name, and I always wondered if he knew where his mom wanted the name, and I, you know, I had tattooed like right up on it, and so, you know, that was awkward to see this guy afterwards and be like, I saw where you came out of, man, that's weird.
Maybe it was more than 10 years ago. I was still piercing at the tattoo studio, so I was taking in all these piercing requests as I'm tattooing as well. And this older lady came into the shop, and she tells me she needed her vagina ring fixed or replaced or something like that. So we go to the back and pull the curtains closed, and she goes in the back and she shows me a ring, and I go to take it out and put a new one in, and she's telling me about how they're going up to this, her and her husband are going to this boat party later. I'm like, oh, that's cool, that sounds like fun, blah, blah, blah. And then she proceeds to get to the point to where it's a nudist old people boat party. I don't know what you'd call that, like a sex boat party. And she's telling me about it. She's trying to invite me along to this thing, and then her husband shows up, and he comes back there, and so they're both back there as I'm changing this lady's ring out, and they're both like, oh yeah, you should come, you'd have a great time, you know, so on and so forth. And I just, like, I couldn't help but think how odd I would be in that situation, you know. Like, all the rest of these people are 30, 40 years older than me, and here I am just...
What would happen is, they would be like, yeah, he pierced my clit, right? And they'd be like, oh, look, but mine. Did you pierce mine?
Jesus, yeah, I guess that's a good way to get referrals, I suppose.
I was at the tattoo shop that I was working at, and this lady walks in with her 2 kids. One is like 4 years old and the other one is 7, and she asked for a female tattoo artist. And I'm like, we don't have. She's like, oh, I want a female tattoo artist, but she looked like she was so desperate. She needed to get this now. And basically she already had the name of her husband here, or her man, and she wanted his last name right underneath, and then she wanted a heart on each lip. But the crazy thing is, she brings her 2 kids with nobody else to watch them, but she doesn't want the kids to see mommy pulling her pants down for another dude to fucking work on her crotch. And it was like a whole bizarre thing, and also she was a bitch. She was treating me like I was, you know, like she was the hot shit and I was some kind of pervert, and of course I did it because I was young and broke and I didn't give a fuck. But yeah, I did the 2 hearts while she was like, screaming for pain, but still like she didn't want her kids to come here. And the manager of the shop was all upset because the kids were like just running wild. And the poor kids were like scared because the mom was behind some blinds with some dude and she was screaming. And you could totally see that she just thought that was gonna make her man get more excited about her and all that, and I'm sure it didn't.
This woman came to me for a tattoo on the front of her hoo-ha.
Pubic mound.
The pubic mound.
That's what we call it.
And she said, I need to get my husband's name tattooed there. And I want it to say Lewis's box. And I was like, wow, okay, that is bold. Why are you getting this? And she said, it's been a fight in my house for a while. I need to get it done, that's it. So immediately I thought, okay, she maybe cheated on him and he's making her get this to prove her loyalty, which is never a good reason to get a tattoo. You shouldn't be forced into it. But she was like, it has to be done, please do it. I was like, okay, whatever. We set up the room and she said, before we start, I just want to make sure it's very light so that if I need to get it covered or hide it, I can. And I was like, honey, please don't get this tattoo. Like, if you're already thinking about removing it, why are you getting it? Like, let's just not do it. How about we start with not doing it? And she was like, no, I have to get it. We'll do it. So I said, okay, we'll do it in flesh tone. It'll heal a little darker than your skin tone. It'll look like a scar, whatever. So she said, okay, that's fine, we do it. She goes home, calls me 10 minutes later, and she says, my husband saw it. He said, absolutely not, it has to be in black. I need you to do it again. So I said, well, that's a whole new tattoo and it has to heal. So if you come back in 2 weeks, I'll do it in black. And she never came back, so I assume she got a divorce.
A woman, she was like 56, I guess. Basically, she just came into the studio and she got naked, like I just said, I just turned myself, prepare yourself, blah, blah, blah. But when I turned, she was completely naked in a second. And she just wanted actually like the first letter of his new boyfriend, actually, straight on there, like literally there. And while I was doing, she was explaining to me the way she liked doing sex with him and like everything she preferred to do. But the point is that I was here, just like there, like that, and she was, yeah, I like when he touched me that way and do it in that way. I was like, okay, just calm down.
I would say that's pretty memorable. You're like, it's kind of memorable. Like I feel like that's a pretty memorable story.
Yeah.
So there's this one guy, and I've been tattooing him for a little bit. I used to tattoo his girlfriend all the time, so that was how I met him. And he's also a tattooer, and he spent like 7 years in like prison. Like tattooing's changed, so he comes out. He's never seen a rotary before. It's real weird. But he has like a ton of really good Polynesian tattoos, like all over his arms, and then he has like a really good like classic tribal and Polynesian like down his torso. So he books me because he has like these black flames coming off of his like pubic area.
That sounds cool.
So he wants to come in and have me take the tribal and go all the way down to the tip of his dick, right? So I'm at this like new shop. It's like a big open space collective. It's my first time working somewhere where we don't have like our own room because it's like just a big open shop. So it's Christmas Eve, right? When I would think none of my coworkers are coming in. I'm at the shop by myself. I have a medical mask on. I'm just going to town on this dude's fucking dick. No Viagra, nothing. Just tattooing black solid flames on his fucking dick. And my two bosses walk in, and I like peek up and I have my mask on. And I like just keep going back to work. And then like, they don't even come over and look because they're like, well, we were gonna come over and say hi, but you're normally friendly and you weren't very friendly, so we assumed that you were doing something you didn't want us to see.
I had a lady come in and she wanted me to tattoo a vagina, like tattoo her vagina. So like, I'm thinking it's gonna be like right there on like her pubic area, And she wanted it cut right across her mid lips and all that stuff. And I did it, and her boyfriend was sitting right on the edge of the other table, like end of the table. And I told her, I said, you gotta spread your legs a little bit. In the process, I had to shave it as well for her. So I had to so I went and I had to spread the lip, like stretch the lip to get the line through it. And when I did that, I don't know, my hands are big, you know what I mean? But my knuckles were like resting in that like area, And I went to pull my hands back to go dip, and some of her secretion was attached to my hand. It was so bad. I was like,
I actually was in one of my old shops that I originally started in, the first professional shop that I started in. Walk-in central, right? We don't have no appointments. We're just waiting for the walk-ins every day, stressing because I still am not that good, but I'm still waiting for my clients to come in and all of this. Tattooing stressful. Anyways, walk-in comes in. I swear to God, this girl was like Queen Ratchet, which is totally fine because, you know, I love my ratchets. But other than that, she come in with her long nails. They're like 5 inches long, looking like a witch. She had like bright green hair. I don't know what the hell she was thinking. And she wanted her man's name on her, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool. Where do you want it? And she was like, oh, I want it above my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I want it above right here. I was like, all right, that's cool. You sure you don't want to get it on your arm? She's like, no, I already got it on my arm. And I was like, wait, what? Okay. So for some reason it popped into my head to ask her, like, how many times do you have this man's name on you? This lady said that she has this man's name on her 8 times in different spots, right? And he's in jail. He's been in jail for the past 7 years. And she wants it one more time, and she feels like this is gonna be the one because it's above her private area, you know what I mean? So I'm like, wow, okay, whatever. Let's do it. I just wanted to be so gung-ho about it so that she didn't be like, oh, what, you scared or something like that? Like, hell no, I'm trying to get this money. Like, let's lay down and make it happen, right? So she goes ahead and lays down, starts to pull her stuff down, and I realized this girl had the nerve to not shave at all for the past 20 months, it looked like. I'm like, I instantly dropped everything. I dropped my razor too. I dropped it on the floor. I said, boop. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this, and you're gonna go in the bathroom and not come out until this is bald like Mr. Clean. So she goes in the back, comes out an hour later, and comes out. Still didn't get it all, so I had to get the rest because, you know, I'm a gentleman. And I continued to do the tattoo. But long story short, I can't believe she made me do that. You got me fucked up, and learn to shave your shit. Thank you.